This video will be going over the answer key to the Speed Practice Quizlet document. So the formulas that you needed to know for this were speed equals distance divided by time equals distance divided by speed, and distance equals speed times time. The cool thing about this is once you know one, you really know all three. This triangle in this picture here is going to help you with that a lot. The way this works is if you create a triangle like this with a multiplication sign in the bottom and two division signs in the middle, you can cover each of these letters to get the formula to solve for that letter. So we know that speed equals distance divided by time. So if I covered speed, I would be left with distance over time, and there's our little division sign. If I wanted to find time, I would cover that and be left with distance divided by speed. Finally, if I covered distance, I would be left with speed times time. It's helpful to always draw this triangle somewhere to have it handy so you always know exactly which formula you should be using to solve for each of these three. Our first question asks us to calculate the speed of a dog running through a field if he's covering 23.7 meters in 54 seconds. So I know that speed equals distance divided by time. So I'm going to just write that as S equals D divided by T. In this case, my distance is 23.7 meters. I know that that's my distance because meters is a unit of distance. My time, that means, is 54 seconds. We can write M for meters and S for seconds. If I do 23.7 divided by 54, I get 0.44 meters per second. I got meters per second because I took my distance and I took my time and I put them together to create meters per second. Remember, distance always is going to go in the front. Our next question is also asking us for speed. So I'm going to set up my speed equals distance divided by time formula again. In this case, my distance is still in meters, but now it's 347 meters. And I'm going to divide that by my seconds, which is 134 seconds. If I do the math on that, 347 divided by 134, I get 2.58. Again, because my units are meters and seconds, it would be 2.58 meters per second. That would be my speed. Numbers 3 and 4 are a little different because now they are not asking for speed. Instead, in number 3, it asks, if you drive at 100 kilometers per hour for 6 hours, how far will you go? If they ask how far, that's a way of asking what is your distance. So that means we're going to have to use our formula for distance. So I'm going to write D equals, and if I go back up to the triangle and cover D, I remember that D equals speed times time. So in this case, speed is our kilometers per hour, so that's 100. Our time is 6 hours. 100 times 6 is 600 kilometers. And that would be our distance. Number 4 asks us for time. So we have a bullet train traveling at 850 miles per hour, and we want to know how much time it will take to travel 500 meters. So we have T equals, and again, we can go back up, cover T, and realize that it is distance divided by speed. So our time is going to equal 500 meters, because that's our distance, divided by 850 meters per hour. If we do that math and we do 500 divided by 850, we get 0.59 and this is going to be in hours. So we would write hours. The rest of the problems are asking for speed, distance, and time, just like we just did in those 3 examples. So this answer key will be posted, and if you would like extra help in how any of these problems were solved once you review the key, please feel free to ask. But that is how you solve for time, distance, and speed.